What's the deal, y'all? It's your boy Big Star Raw Sports, man. You already know what time it is, man. It's Legends Week, man. Season 5, and let me just let y'all know, man. I have a legendary guest tonight, man. It's actually a special one because this is the first lady of Legends Week. My girl Malia Ralls, formerly Malia Tate-DeFreitas, from Steel High in the Harrisburg area. If I'm not mistaken, she just off the top of the memory, I think she graduated. I think she may have been like the class of 2011. I'm sorry, 2012, I believe. At Still High, legendary career, and this is going to be special because since high school and then the accomplishments, the things that she accomplished in college, I would always tell people, man, it's this girl, Malia Tate, Malia Rawls or Malia Tate DeFreitas in the Harrisburg area. I mean, she accomplished things that male or female possibly won't be done for a long time, or if at all. So I don't want to, go too much into her resume. She'll tell you guys, she'll break it down. But amazing high school career, amazing college career. She didn't skip a beat, man. She just, went on and went on to college and did the same exact thing, man. So, this is extra special, man. The first lady of Legends Week, Malia Rawls, formerly Malia Tate-DeFreitas, and also doubly, the first lady title. She's actually, like before Raw Sports was even a thing, I was filming her games in high school, I believe her junior and senior year. So this one is, super special for me, man, and I'll talk more. Here we go. The
Hey,
queen, the queen.
how you doing?
I'm blessed. Malia Rawls, formerly Malia Tate-DeFreitas. How you doing, girl?
Good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm, blessed by the best. No complaints here at all. No complaints
Good.
here at all. Let me get my camera adjusted here. Do our little
Okay.
intros and get right into it. I'm excited. I'm super excited. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. I was telling the people right before you got on, it kind of, what I'm about to say kind of has a dual meaning. You're the first, okay, of this Legends Week series. You're the first lady of Legends Week. First of all, the first, woman, legend that I've had on the show. So that's special. And
Yeah.
also, you're actually like the first lady of Raw Sports. Because even before Raw Sports was a thing, I was
Yeah.
filming I was filming your game. Exactly. I was filming your games in high school
Yeah.
before Raw Sports was even a thing. So, this is super special. And, glad to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Of course. So, we're gonna get right into it. It's a lot of stuff that I want to cover with you. Just want to go over two things real quick, little housekeeping things real quick. First, Instagram only gives us hour blocks to talk. So if we get into our, close on our first hour, I'll just, end this one, save it, and then we'll just come back
Okay.
on and, pick right back up. And also at the very end, we're gonna have a little, we're gonna have a nice little Q&A, especially if you have a nice audience. We'll have a little Q&A, let you go, go back and forth with the people, let the people ask you some questions. All right.
Okay. That sounds good.
All right. And two goals, and I guess, goals and objectives, kind of like the purpose for Legends Week. You've throughout your career, you've gotten, player of the weeks or, player of the years and, tons of different, accolades and
Hmm.
just notoriety. This is my contribution to solidifying your legacy. This is just my gesture to
Yeah.
never let anyone forget about Malia Ross, Malia Tate-DeFreitas and everything that you've given to the game, all your accomplishments. And then also, the things that I do with the young athletes.
Yeah.
This is bridging the gap and educating them and letting them know who you are, and letting them know that they need to be paying homage to you as well whenever they see you. This is
Are you-
hoop.
okay.
This is hoop. I got to give it up. This is hoop royalty right here. This is royalty. So I gotta call it like it is. I call it
Yeah.
like it is. So we're gonna get right into it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so just to kind of warm us up, we're
All
going to
right.
play a quick game. It's called 10 Random Questions. I'm going to just throw 10 random things at you just to kind of see the first thing that comes to your mind, all right?
Okay.
All right. First, your favorite cartoon growing up?
Growing up, it was probably late growing up, but maybe Proud Family.
Proud Family?
Yeah, I would say that.
No doubt, no doubt. Most points, and this is at any level, AAU, summer league, college, high school, the most points you ever scored in the game at any level.
54.
How many?
54.
54, and when and where was that?
That was at John Harris.
Mm-hmm.
That was my senior year.
Uh-huh.
Yep. So here at Harrisburg, I saw it still in rivalry.
No doubt.
It was a big game, and even though we lost.
No doubt. No
I
doubt.
still showed up.
100%, no doubt. All right, so now this is not before you answer this question. I need you to think. This is not a question where you could just where you need to just
Oh,
blurt out the first. I want you to think about it for a second. All right.
okay.
So your husband
Hmm.
is also an athlete, played ball and everything. Okay. In a 10-game series, no, a 7-game series up to 10, who wins?
Is this currently or
In both in your prime.
okay? In our prime, of course he will win because he got the more muscle and would
I
try to
got you.
down. But maybe in a shooting game, I mean, I could give him run for his money.
Okay, I'll switch it up. Okay, behind the arc, behind the arc,
Oh,
behind
me,
the arc. A 7-game series, game of horse, whatever. Who wins? Just 3-pointers.
I would pick me.
You win.
Yeah.
Out of 7, how's the series gonna go?
I would say it would be pretty close. Maybe come down to the last game.
Got you. So
Yeah.
so four. So you win 4-3.
Yeah, because Donald, that's what he did. He's a pretty good shooter. So
No doubt. No
yeah.
doubt. If whenever you come back home, to your mom's house or with family, what's a really good home cooked meal that you enjoy that you look forward to coming back home to?
Well, all of them. That's the first thing. But I would say mac and cheese. That's my favorite.
Gotcha.
But
Who's any? I don't want to get you in trouble, but
yeah,
who's in particular? Is there anybody's mac and cheese that's the one?
my Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get cursed out over that one.
Who's a local player in the Harrisburg area, or just anyone in PA or anything like that? Male or female that you kind of looked up to kind of inspired you. When you were coming up playing ball.
So when I was coming up, it was a couple people that I would say that I looked up to or inspired me. Sabree Proctor for one,
Mm-hmm.
my cousin. Jasmine Poole, of course. Alyssa Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be number one.
Mm-hmm.
Two. And there was a girl named Shantae. She played for Lower Dolphin. She was really good. She was their point guard. And I would say Ashley Best White that played for Trinity.
Gotcha.
People that were killing it when I was coming up. I was a freshman. I think they were seniors. So
Got you. What are some other sports that you may have played when you grew up?
oh, that's a lot. So basketball wasn't my main sport.
Okay.
You won't believe this, but I was a cheerleader.
No doubt.
And I was a college cheerleader. So my dad was like, why don't we try basketball and see if you like it? So I would say cheerleading. I did basketball. I did tennis. I did softball. And I ran track.
Gotcha.
I ran all the way up until my freshman year of high school. But once I started having knee problems, it was like, you got to pick one sport.
Gotcha.
So sports.
Got you. At any level as well, toughest player that you ever had to guard, high school, college, or summer leagues, anything. Toughest player that you went against, you think, that really, get you a run for your money.
In college, of course, we played South Carolina. You had Kayla Davis. I think she might have been a number one of the, if not number 2 draft pick. One of the AAU teams I was playing for, but I didn't decide to go with them. Brianna Stewart, she was the number 1 draft pick. She was definitely a tough one. Mariah Jefferson, she was the point guard for UConn. Played against her in AAU. So it was a couple, elite, very major athletes that I played, against through my career.
Got you. What's one of your favorite sports related movies? Anything to do with sports? A movie that deal with sports?
Of course, Love and Basketball.
No, naturally.
There was a movie that came on Disney Channel, and it would be, I forget the name of it, but it was 2 twins, and they played. I like that movie too. I would say those 2.
Got you. Can you cook?
Can I cook? Yes, I can.
Got you. Okay, so you're having company. You and your husband are having house guests. So what's a meal that you would put together to really try to impress some people?
Really try to impress. I would say I make the best salmon cakes. Okay. So that would probably be a meal that not try to impress, but that's my go-to. So
No,
I was cakes, and then me moving to Atlanta, I had to make my own mac and cheese.
no
Um,
doubt.
so my mac and cheese and now these dishes don't go together. I'm just naming out
It's all
dishes.
good.
Um,
Okay.
and I would say recently buffalo chicken dip because I
Okay.
went and my mom was in Pennsylvania and I was in Atlanta, so called me that over the phone. So
Got you. Got you. Last question of the 10 random questions. Your favorite WNBA player of any era?
ooh, that's a tough one. Um, I would just say Candace Parker
Mm-hmm.
for sure. And I seen her in the Atlanta airport. We
Okay.
were literally standing next to each other. And Donald was like, "Why don't you say something?" I'm like, "Nah." But I did see her, so that was Parker.
No doubt. That's what's up. Hey, well, I appreciate that. Just kind of getting
No
warmed up
problem.
with you. We're gonna get right into it.
Okay.
If you know, just like I say to all the legends, all the guests that I have on the show, I don't want to get in your way of you telling your story. I just want to give you the freedom just to kind of, just kind of rap, and I'll interject, when I need to. But just start by just, reintroducing yourself to the audience and just letting us know where the Malia Rawls, Malia Tate-DeFreitas story begins for you.
Okay, so for you all that don't know me, I'm Malia Ross now, but was Malia Tate-DeFreitas in high school. I'm a graduate. I graduated from Stilton High Spire High School. I started basketball probably at the age of 9. So I was kind of late in the game. So started at 9. Then I played for Stephon Marbury Little League team in New York.
Oh wow!
So yeah. So we
Like since
drived up
you're a
to.
late bloomer, then you all as soon as you get involved, you're on Stephon Marbury's up
Oh,
in New
I
York.
don't
Like how ironic is that for a future hoop legend?
know. Coach Frank was my very first coach, my very first basketball coach. So I don't even know how I got involved in this league, but I was literally the only girl in the whole league.
Okay.
But I swear I've been the same height since that age. So everybody thought, well, my dad's tall. My dad's side of the family is tall, so everybody thought tall. So he's like, yeah, we need a center. So just bring Malia. So I was the only girl in the league, and my dad literally told me to never play basketball, never had a training, and I'm out here with all these hoopers in the middle of New York City. As like, just keep your hands, just stand in the paint and keep your hands up. And I'm like, on offense, I don't get no time. I'm just out here just trying to figure out the game. So that's how I originally, started. Well, and I was cheering at the time too, but my dad was just like, if you want me to come to your cheerleading competitions, be a cheer dad, why don't you just try to stick out basketball? So that's how I really started. Then I went on to middle school and I went to Prince of Peace. It's no longer a school, is shut down, but that's where I did, middle school in the Catholic League where we played like Holy Name,
That was like the CYO, correct?
and like St. Joan of Arc. And then I was introduced to Coach Chiz, which was still in coach, well, still is the coach there.
Mm-hmm.
I was introduced to him at a Downey. Downey used to have summer league.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I kind of people was like, oh, Malia can play basketball, or who is Malia? Because I'm like a Catholic school. So that was kind of like me actually like, oh, I'm kind of good. I can kind of score type of thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
it out and playing with, girls in that area. So started there. Sorry, my dog is
No,
barking.
you good. You good.
um, yeah, but then I so my middle school is right across the street from Stilton.
Mm-hmm.
It
Oh,
was like,
that school that was right
yeah,
across. Oh, that was it. Got you. Got you. Got you.
so it was like, am I going to McDevitt, or I lived in Stilton, so am I going to Stilton? So I ended up going there because in Stilton it starts 7th, 8th grade is in the high school.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad decided to step up and be my middle school coach.
Got you.
So 7th grade, 8th grade, we started, doing good. We were undefeated. I think we might have lost one game that season.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went on to, win the championship. And then that's where, started my high school career at Stilton. And then I think I played AAU a little bit for Central Penn Ballers. And that's where I was playing. I was playing up like with the older girls. I was playing with Sabri and Jasmine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was young. I was really young. So I started, playing with them. And then the New York Gauchos, that's actually Kimba Walker's
Mm-hmm.
former AAU team.
Gotcha.
It's like in the Bronx, I think. It's right
Mm-hmm.
across the Yankee Stadium, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed up, but yeah, so they actually came to a game, and actually the game that they came to, I don't know if you know Kalia Cooper. She's from Philadelphia, but she's in the WNBA
Okay.
in Girard College, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, oh yeah, bring her. So I ended up playing for the Gauchos. It was between them and the Bells. And I chose the Gauchos because I felt like I was being more challenged.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Bells, like those were like the elite of the elite. So it was,
That's the Philly Bells, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Brianna Stewart played for, and
Gotcha.
their coach is like real big on the McDonald All-American and all that type stuff.
Yep.
I liked it. I just felt like, not that it was easy, but I don't know if I would get as much. Well, I would get the exposure, but I didn't feel like I was being challenged.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I follow you.
It was kind of more like a laid back. Oh, we do a couple drills, then
Yeah.
we're going to have a catered lunch, type of thing.
Got you.
York is like, no, you're playing with the roughest of the roughest.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, you're playing with boys, basically.
Of course.
So, I would travel to New York City every weekend. I started doing that, I think, 10th grade. So I was kind of, late coming on to the Gauchos. But me and my dad, we would either take the train or drive up there every weekend. And then we were playing at Florida, Texas, New Orleans. So I would say 10th, my social life kind of stopped at 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of gave that up because my dad was like, you're good enough to get a scholarship. So let's make that our goal. So that was pretty much my life. And then leading up to college, well, the recruiting process, I guess I could talk about. So I had a lot of big schools looking at me. I've had over so many letters. But I feel like Hampton was the best fit for me. And I would tell any kid that is, being recruited by big schools, really go to a school that is best for you,
Mm-hmm.
or that you're going to play, that you have a good relationship with the coach. Just don't go to a school because of the name.
Mm-hmm.
Went to big schools and, got superstar everything, but that just wasn't me. And I really liked Hampton.
Mm-hmm.
I like atmosphere. I like my coaches. They had the number I wanted. Like,
of course, no doubt.
everything just fit, and they were winning. My coach was like, my freshman year in college, we were number 1 in the country for defense. So it was Hampton.
Here, pause. I don't mean to pause you.
Okay.
We're going. I want to structure it and
Okay.
take the time. So no, this is perfect. It's perfect.
Okay.
I just don't want you to get too much into the college stuff. I'm
Yeah.
gonna pause you right there and go back a little bit.
Okay.
And then revisit each of the things that you mentioned, and then get back into the college experience.
Okay.
All right. So if you can go back to, because I heard you saying you were a late bloomer, and then all of a sudden you're thrown right into the fire. You're in New York. You're playing. Dad advice was just put your hands up. You had no idea what was going on. So from that point, from then, at what point did you start to develop and notice that you were, all right. First question before I ask that.
Okay.
When did you first develop a love for the game, like your own love for the game? First, let's start there.
Me and basketball have a love-hate relationship.
Okay.
But I first started noticing, my love for the game. I would say it was middle school, 6th and 7th grade. I really started liking it, and that's when I dropped all the other sports and kind of really focused on basketball. So I would say around that is where I noticed, like, oh, I actually enjoy playing this, and I could, do this for a while, type of thing.
Got you. And at what point did you start to realize that you were becoming good and then becoming a little bit better than some of the girls around you, kind of sticking out a little bit?
And I would say seventh grade, but definitely eighth grade because I knew I was going to high school next year, and you have the naysayers and people that are kind of jealous
Hmm.
because good. But then it came to, a point where, I just knew that okay, now I'm really starting to score. I'm actually good at scoring, and my dad would tell me that all the time. So just hearing that in my head and him pulling me aside, even in my college games, like I'm looking at my coach, but I'm looking at my dad in the stands, like telling me what to do. Like, oh, like I see you, dad. But so, yeah, so I would say seventh, eighth grade. That's when I really, loved and noticed that I was, a scorer.
Got you. And what was I about to say? Oh, I had a question now, but I lost my train of thought. Um, 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 um. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, nowadays, everybody's doing like, with my sons or, just any parent across the country, if they want their kid to kind of get an edge playing basketball, they got the skills and drills, the trainers and all that kind of stuff. How was it for you? Were you out there with the cones with your dad, or were you just playing games? Like, how did you develop? And then how did you develop so fast in a short amount of time?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because I was always athletic,
Mm-hmm.
but I swear, like, it just came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, my dad, one thing I appreciate about my dad so much, he never forced me to play a sport or never put like all this pressure on me where I feel like after school. Because I've had teammates that had dads that left the game. They weren't allowed to, hang out
Mm-hmm.
with us. They're in the room watching film.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad never like pressured me. Oh, we're going outside at this time to do drills.
Uh-huh.
So, B Mage, of course,
Mm-hmm.
people in the community like that. And then just me, hitting up chiz on my own. Can I get some shots up? Or in high school, I loved, just being in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of changed college, but
Yeah, yeah,
college is
yeah.
more intense. It's like a lot. It's so much. Like I just need a break type of thing. But
Uh-huh.
high school, I love, being in the gym. So I
Got,
never forced to Malia, we're going to work out. It was me asking you to give me a ride to go work out.
no doubt. And now go into like, okay, we can even talk about high school or something. Let's go back to the summer league stuff.
Okay.
What's some of your most memorable summer league experiences? Like summer leagues, like not AAU, like any summer leagues you played in, any travel stuff that wasn't AAU. I guess like during your high school days, and then like memorable experiences, places you traveled, girls you played against, tough games, anything you remember from any summer league stuff.
But not AAU.
Not AAU.
Okay. So summer league, of course, Brightville, they always have, their league. So I can remember playing, there. I can't remember whose team it was or if we just threw a team together, but I remember playing those summer leagues. And of course, Downey, I felt like we don't have this anymore, but like that summer league, like it was packed. Like people are standing up,
Mm-hmm.
like watching girls basketball, not just the guys basketball, girls basketball. So, and at that time I was playing against Chiz or
Gotcha.
against, other coaches. So I would say that would be, a memorable game or summer league. But other than that, I can't really remember any high scoring game.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Well,
Um,
what about AAU? Tell me about some just when you think about the AAU experience, traveling across the
yeah.
country. Just tell me, just recall any memorable experiences, big games you played, tough matchups you had, just anything that was fun about the AAU experience.
So like AAU, so being that the Gauchos is a Nike Elite team, you play like the top 100 girls in the country, so it's very intense, and the Gauchos are known for like winning, so that was a lot of pressure as well. But traveling and just being able to play, I met people that I'm still friends with to this day. That was a fun experience. I do remember one game in particular. I feel like this was my breakthrough game where like college coaches were like, oh, like we're gonna send her a letter type of game.
No doubt.
We Tennessee fight. Um, and they had a girl. She was like 6'11". She was so tall. But
Wow.
I think I had like 30 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like and it was at in Florida at the Disney ESPN.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got you.
that's kind of one of the big tournaments, and it's packed, but it was a close game too. And I remember people, coming to our court to watch that game, and I remember seeing all the coaches that were there. So that game, it was definitely packed. And I remember my old college coach, shoot my dad a message like, tell Malia to slow it down a little bit. Like, but yeah, so that game in particular, so yeah.
Yeah, cool. Were there any players that you went up against that were really tough?
Oh,
It's tough that and they went on to play some big time college ball or maybe pros or anything like that from your AAU experience.
yeah. So Diamond DeShields, she plays in the WNBA. She was on the team with another point guard. I don't know her name, but she played in the WNBA as well. Their team was really good. So playing them, of course, Mariah Jefferson, because she was like the quickest player I've ever played against.
Mm-hmm.
So her and she went to UConn, but there was a girl on her team. I think she went to um, Butler or Baylor. I'm not quite sure which one.
Mm-hmm.
But you've seen them like Breonna Stewart, of course. That would probably be like the main one. That was the it girl,
Yeah.
even when I was AAU. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, when you walk into the gym and you see like you just said, the it girls, like
Yeah.
here goes such and such. It's almost like it's not supposed to happen, but
Yeah.
you kind of have you. It's not supposed to happen, but it don't matter if you were in high school during the LeBron James era and your team was there to play, but you see LeBron James and his AAU team over there, you kind of get a little bit starstruck. Like, yo, they go LeBron James over there. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to do that, but people do that. So where were you in all of that? Like, did you still kind of stick your chest out and kind of like, no, Malia Tate-DeFreitas is here, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you know.
I don't feel like I was ever that type of person. I never really, and locally, I never really stuck my chest out. But like, we know like who she was. If anything, it was more nerves
Gotcha.
than, and I got, even up to college, I got nervous before games.
Wow,
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, oh yeah, I got nervous for every game.
For real?
Yes.
So
Um,
what was your process and what calmed you down?
um, I think like my first basket, I'm good.
Okay.
That would be like, Malia, just try to get 3 layups a quarter. Well, it would have been 6 layups a half, but now then they turned into quarters again. So 3 layups
Uh-huh.
a quarter. But as soon as I get my first basket, I'm good. Or like, I don't know, like as soon as the ball tips off, it's like you kind of just zone out. It's the weirdest. But no, I literally got nervous before every game because like going to college, I actually had to play defense.
Got you.
High school, it was not saying that I didn't have to play defense, but it was like more rules, like being in the gap or helping out, help defense. Like I didn't know that was a thing till I got to college. So I'm
That's
like,
funny.
it was, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I got over it because even in college they would take our phone, so we really couldn't listen to music.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I don't know. It was a kind of like me talking to myself thing. And kind of when I, see my dad in the crowd, that would always, calm my nerves
Yeah.
too, or just try to pick out someone that looks familiar so I can just like.
No, no, and so for anyone that's watching that did not have the pleasure of watching you play basketball, I forgot to have you do this. Break down the type of player you were. Tell me like some of your strengths, things you did well. The type of player you were on the court, during those days.
Yeah, I would say definitely I scored off. I got a lot of my points off of fast breaks.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I really, would amp up how many points I had. I was
Got
really good in the passing lane, and that's something that I wasn't good at before, but I got good at in college because it's easy points.
it. Mm-hmm.
Um, say that was one of my strengths, definitely shooting. That was my most favorite thing to do because I literally didn't have to run. I could just stand there. They do all the work and throw the ball and I shoot it. So that, of course, and then creating space. That was definitely what I had to learn in college. Being that the girls were faster, more stronger, things like that. So I would say those were my strengths. Definitely a weakness that I had to learn very quickly was defense. Not
Okay.
saying I was terrible at defense, but definitely that was the hardest and most challenging thing in college. Learning defense, and learning the defense that my coach played. Being that he was like, if you don't play defense, you're not playing. I don't care who you are, type of that was the most challenging, and adjusting to him because he was a very aggressive coach, and
Mm-hmm.
like my dad, they're kind of like do what you want. So
Mm-hmm.
I be coachable. So I would say that's one thing that I had to learn playing basketball at a higher level.
Got you. So I want to talk about your high school experience now, but before you transition into talking about high school, tell me about real quick. Tell me about the support that you had, from the from the Stilton community, and what it was like, kind of being like a local, like a small town legend, like a legend in like a really small, little town.
So, I mean, the support was unreal. Like, even my teammates were just like, your family comes everywhere. Literally, we played in California. My family was there. Um, Anywhere we played, at least one person was there. My mom would run a bus trip to one of our rivalry games like Howard or I think Norfolk State one year. And even people at Still High, were not just my family, but fans at Still High, they were on the bus trip. So they literally followed me everywhere. Older alumni, they were very supportive and always, sending me messages or saying, we're coming to the game. So always there. Same with my coach Chiz. That's like my second dad. Still to this day, he texts me and tells me thank you for all the championships. So so they were always there.
No doubt. So tell me, just break down in any way you want to break it down, but just make sure you touch on regarding your high school career, like most memorable games,
Oh,
highlights. Everybody wants to hear about this 3,366 points you ended up with in your career. How you did it. Just the championships. Just sum up your high school career in those highlights.
okay. So freshman year, I was kind of a secret, I would sort of say. So that gave me like the green light and made it easier for me to score, where they were
Mm-hmm.
kind of focused on some of my other teammates because we had like Shavana and Jess Williams, and Jess Williams was really good as well. So freshman year we made it one districts, and I don't even know when the last time Chiz had or any type of championship.
Oh,
So
prior to that.
yeah, prior to that, I don't know when his even a winning season.
Uh
Because they weren't win. It was pretty bad. They weren't winning.
huh. Said it was pretty bad.
It was, but so my freshman year, we won districts onto states. We played Tri Valley. That was our toughest team. They had like a girl. She actually went to Virginia Tech, and Hampton
Okay.
played Tech, and we beat them.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, so that was fun. Well, she didn't get in, but it was fun to see her and talk to her after the game. Because
Mm-hmm.
she was really good in high school. So we played them in my freshman year. I tore my ACL.
Okay.
So
Wow.
that
Oh, so that was your freshman year. Was that your first like serious injury like that?
yeah, I'd never been injured before that.
Wow. And so so this is your freshman year. I
And
knew about some of the injuries I was a part of. I was around for some of them, but I didn't know the total timeline of all the injuries that you had. So the first one, I'm just keeping mental notes. So the first injury, you tore your ACL
yeah,
your freshman year. Okay, continue.
well, I tore my ACL and my meniscus.
Wow.
Um, it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a fast break. I made the layup, but when I landed, it was a wrap.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I didn't think I was hurt. because I never been hurt before. So we go to the back, like my dad picks me up and stuff, and we're back. I don't know why I'm laughing. Um, because we go
I'm
to
in
the
shock. Like I have a very low tolerance
no,
for pain, so I'm actually kind of feeling it right now.
yeah, no, but like when we went to the back, like our trainer's telling me to do the drills, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. Like my knee's fine,
Mm.
not knowing that my whole ACL is torn. And he wraps me up and he's like, you're done. So my dad comes sit next to me and he's like, Malia, he was like, if you think you could go back in, go back in. And I'm like, okay. So I took off the ice and I run back out there. And I'm like, I didn't even ask for a sub. I just went and sat right at the booth. And then I just subbed myself in. But my dad was like, if I see one tear, you're coming right out. And I'm like, okay. So I run out there and I just go out, get the sub. And as soon as I jump, it popped again. And I'm like, oh, something really wrong. I start crying and then I was like, no, you gotta take her out.
Oh
So
my gosh.
yeah, so I think that's when I tore my meniscus when I tried to go in again.
So had you not went in, it may not have been that serious that first time.
No, it was serious because I tore my ACL.
Okay,
Your
so
meniscus.
regardless,
I played on the torn meniscus in college, and ended up getting surgery at the end of the season. So that you can play on that, but
gotcha,
ACL can't. Not a
gotcha,
female play on
gotcha,
that.
gotcha.
So within, I would say, 2 weeks later, I got surgery so I can come back for the next season.
Okay.
Because that game that we lost, that would have been us going into the state championship game.
That freshman year.
Yep.
All right. So that was it for you, but so now you just prepare for the next season.
Yeah, because that was our last game because we lost, and that was state semifinals.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So that 2 weeks later, I got surgery so that I could come back and play next season. My year. So then my sophomore year, that's when I was introduced to the Gauchos. And another memorable game was playing Girard College because they were really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember how many points I had, but I know I had a lot. So yeah, playing them. Then that's when one of the Gauchos coaches came and they were like, "Oh yeah, like she could play with us," type of thing. So yep. I don't know. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of like. Okay, so sophomore year we went to districts, one district. So right now I have 2 districts. We won districts and then won states as well.
Okay, so you want to, and were you a major contributor to like like in the flow, like one of the top scorers, or
Yeah.
Or, okay.
Yeah. Just yes, I was a major. Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
I was one of the the scorer or the go-to girl. So definitely killed myself that season and all the seasons after that. Because I don't think my coach before that, when he coached for John Harris, he might have had some state championships, but not any was still in. So this was like our first time really, getting to, championships. So we won states junior year, sophomore year, junior year, I won district and states again. So we did it 2 years ago.
So back to back. So this is 3 district championships and now 2 state championships back to back.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And my senior year, this was the game I've been waiting for my whole life, was to play John Harris. So I really knew like that. I can't even remember the game. I really just remember leaving school half a day because I had to go to school half a day in order to play. So I was like, I'm going home, getting focused. So I think I took a nap. I might have took like 2 5-hour energies because I used to before like every game. So I think I took like 1 or 2 of those. That's probably not recommended. You probably shouldn't do that. It's probably not healthy, but but I took 2 of those, and then all I remember was tip off, and that was it was the craziest thing because my husband now, my boyfriend at the time, he went to John Harris.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they kicked him out the student section because he had his colors on, but he had a shirt with my name and number on it.
They said you got to go.
Yeah. So they kind of kicked him out the student section. But I just remember at halftime, I'm like, I got 30 something points.
Wait, at halftime?
I think I did, or 20 something at halftime.
Wow. Well, close to 30 at halftime.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
some, and I just remember, well, even before the game, my dad was like we always had a talk. He was like, I don't even have to say nothing. I'm just like, I'm literally shaking because I'm so nervous. But I didn't have cougar fever, but I was nervous.
No doubt, no doubt. And where was it at? What was the location of this game?
It was at John Harris.
Oh, wow. I know the crowd was crazy. I know the atmosphere was probably crazy.
Still in First Harrisburg, it's always like, so for a girls game, it was like packed. So yep, I really just remember, you had the trash talker, so I'm like, I really gotta, like, this is the game I've been waiting for my whole career. So and I remember us losing, but I just remember my dad and Chiz like, that's how you do it. I'm like, we just lost though. But
like, that's how you do it? We took an L.
But I'm like, that's fine. But I mean, even to this day, people still talk about that game, and they don't even talk about the score, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Even though we lost, but even within seconds, I remember hitting a 3, which we lost by 5 points. So that was the funnest games I've ever played in, and I didn't see anybody guarding me. I didn't see nothing but like the inside of the basket. So yeah,
I think Jill baby 81. Is that Aunt Jill?
Yeah.
She said you had 45 points that game. Wow.
No, I had 54.
Oh, that was the 54-point game.
Yeah, that was a 54-point game.
Oh, Jill baby 81. She had 54, Auntie. Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
yeah, go ahead.
Year, and then we won districts, but we lost states, and that was a tough one.
What game was it? Down at Reading when you all played against that tall white girl.
That's when that was my freshman year. So we played them twice, the same team.
Oh, that was the girl. That was that long ago?
Yeah.
I was there.
Played them twice at Reading, and we lost both times at Reading.
The tall girl from Tri-Valley. I remember that. I was at that game. Dang, that was a long time ago. Dang. That was a long time ago.
So we same team. We lost to them in the semifinals because they had a really good point guard, and they had her, and she was like probably like 6'6", and it's like the one game I guarded her, but I'm like, I can't do, I'm a foul.
Yeah.
Guard. I mean, we had our point guard was Jasmine Blandy, so she did a good job on the guard, but it was like we only do so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so both times, my freshman year and senior year, both semifinals of state, same team.
Gotcha. And so you were about to say before I cut you off, you were about to you were getting to, you said y'all won districts again your senior year, and then what happens after that?
We lost states.
Okay, like in the state championship game, or y'all just lost along the way?
I honestly can't remember. It might have been in the state championship. No, I remember losing. It might have been in the state championship game, if I'm not mistaken. But I know we lost to Tri-Valley both of the times. So.
Gotcha. Were there any more injuries along the way?
Throughout my whole career, yes.
No, during the high school stretch.
No, just my knee, just
that freshman year.
Yep, okay. I had college.
Gotcha. Because I would see you wearing the I didn't know much of the behind. I would see you wearing the whole knee brace, so I wasn't sure if like you were something else had happened, or that was just a safety security kind of thing, or what.
So when you tear your ACL, you have to the next year you have to wear that long, big
the robot leg.
It is so annoying, and it's like the most like you can't really move like you want to move, but that, and then I wore knee sleeves my whole career just because.
Yeah.
Then I developed like arthritis and stuff. So my knees were just hurting, and I would get cortisone shots and all this type of stuff. So I always just wore knee braces to protect
Yeah.
my.
So you're wearing the big robo leg brace. I mean, that brace was big. You're wearing
Annoying.
the sleeves, you know, knees sore, but you still managed to get 3,366 points. Talk about that. Talk about that accomplishment, and then talk about any other accomplishments like awards, things that you've gotten along, you know, when it was all said and done.
Yeah, it was a lot. My parents normally help me with this area, but definitely the 3,366 points. It didn't hit me to my senior year to like see it. Or then my freshman year, I came back, freshman year of college, I came back and they honored me and like put my name up on the wall. So that kind of like hit me there. But
Mhm.
in the process, it really didn't seem like I was scoring that much. It was just like we got to win type of thing. Um,
Yeah.
so, but seeing it on paper, I'm like, wow, I really scored.
I mean, because when you put it in perspective for male or female, a basketball player, period, in high school,
Yeah,
you know, you know, I'm in the class of '95, so like getting 1,000 points was major. 1,000 points is a major milestone. Some, you know, some players they get that 1,000 points and that's it. So you know they had that you know the celebration that your family could they come out with the ball, you know, the
yeah,
colorful ball. So you get the colorful ball for 1,000. Then you get a 2,000 colorful ball, and then you get a 3,000. I mean, I'm just like, yo, this is like, so you tripled, you know, people's
yeah.
major accomplishment. Like you tripled that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I would say that was one of my biggest accomplishments. Then being, I think second in Pennsylvania for scoring,
Yep.
that was pretty big. And then being featured in Sports Illustrated,
Wow.
that was a big accomplishment as well. But I would say those were probably my biggest three in high school. And of course, championships are always
Yeah.
accomplishments. So, Big 15, of course. I don't know how many player of the weeks and stuff like
Oh
that.
God. Yeah. Just so pretty
Yeah,
much, you know, one of the top scorers in the in high school history in PA, and pretty much everything in between.
yeah.
Talk about the transition. Talk about the college recruiting process. All the different schools that really wanted you, really were interested, and then what led you to. Oh, you kind of talked about it earlier, but you know, kind of what led you to saying, "Yeah, Hampton, that's the place for me."
Okay. So 11th grade, if I'm not mistaken, that's when you get to go on your visits and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I had narrowed down all my schools, and I still have all my letters. It's ridiculous. But I narrowed down all my, I think it was four, to Hampton, Pitt, um, Northeastern, and University of Albany.
Mm-hmm.
Those where I took my four visits, if I'm not mistaken. Um, so the Pitt visit, when I mean amazing, I came
Wow.
home with it. It was like that, like they really outdid themselves. Like, of course they brought me there when it was Night Madness, so they laid a court down on the busiest street in Pittsburgh, and they
Wow.
have a laser show. It was like out of this world. They had this elaborate dinner at like the coach's man.
Wow.
It was crazy, and just seeing their facilities and all the stuff they had, like just for athletes. Like you have a cafeteria just for athletes. You have the study halls, the locker rooms. Like it's amazing. So, Pitt. Then I think they actually, because the coaches can come to you and visit you as well. So they came to one of my practices and came to school with me and everything. Just trying to get me to come there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my most memorable, I would say, visit. I really had fun that visit. And I just knew I was going to Pitt, but the only problem was they were 0-18 in their conference.
Wow.
So I
Wow.
was like, everything is perfect, but you
But
guys,
so
and
just curious. Well, I mean, because you know they're telling you what you want to hear when
yes,
you're recruited and stuff like that. So what was the selling point? hey, you can be you can turn this around, or what were they telling you?
Yeah, that it was, it was kind of that. And then you have to be careful with college coaches, because some of them they're just trying to get you there because, that's what pays their bills.
Of course, of course.
Not saying that I got that vibe, but it's just, I don't know. I didn't know how little old me could change this whole, and then I think they went to the ACC. So little old me,
Mm-hmm.
how 5'8" in the ACC, where guards 6'1" and up
Yeah.
to the program. And then another thing, they didn't have the number that I wanted.
Okay.
So that was kind of like,
Which was
bro.
0. Gotcha.
So yeah, so everything was perfect other than, they weren't winning, and yeah, that was pretty much it. They weren't winning and they didn't have my number. But the visit was amazing. So
Gotcha.
and
And
then
what?
no, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, and then what ultimately led you to like saying, you know what, Hampton, that's definitely the place. You mentioned they
Oh,
had your number. You know.
oh yeah. So Hampton, of course my mom went there.
Of
So
course. Of
just
course.
like got to see my school, like just all hype. And I was actually born in Hampton, Virginia. A lot of people don't
Okay.
know that.
Okay.
'Cause there, she got married there and had me there. I didn't move here probably till I was about 2 months, a month. So they like, I don't know how many visits I took to Hampton. One official. I don't want to get them in
Mm-hmm.
trouble. One official visit,
No doubt.
but probably like 4 unofficial.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so on my last official visit, it was just like the atmosphere. I love the coaches. It was very family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
The coming from Still in is like this big. So me going to Pitt, one thing I didn't like, the classes were overwhelming.
Gotcha. As far as the size.
100 to 200 kids in your class, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
my professor doesn't even know me. So like, going to um you know, Hampton and sitting in their classes, you might have 20, 30 kids. Of course, like your freshman year, you might have the biggest class you might have is 50 people. So it's a private institution. So it's very, family oriented, the culture. And Hampton was winning. I think my coach won, well, he has won 6 championships. So while I was there, we won 2 or 3. I can't
Gotcha.
remember.
Wow.
But I
2 or
can't
3
remember.
conference championships.
Oh, we won 2. No, so season championships we won 3.
Okay.
Um, like the MEAC tournament conference championships we won 2.
Wow.
So I had 2 NCAA appearances.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so that was pretty. And if I would have went to any other school of the schools that recruited me, I wouldn't have that experience. Other than University of Albany, because they were winning and I loved their coach. I just didn't like the city.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just took in to consideration the atmosphere of Hampton. It's the most beautiful campus. Um, it's a peninsula, so you have boats literally in the of your dorm. And you see the sailing out there in the morning. It's just really, it's like Black excellence. So
No doubt.
it's like a vibe. I really like. So I was just like, oh yeah, I want to go here.
No doubt.
Yeah. So yeah.
So talk about, so just a great transition. Just talk about your. I mean, you already alluded to it. You've already, like, that's what you've already been doing. So we'll just get right into it. Just same way you broke down high school. Talk about
Oh,
your overall Hampton experience, accomplishments, like you've already mentioned, like championships and everything. Big games, rivalry games, tough players you played against. Anything else you want to remember? Anything else you want to mention? Because you already mentioned the championships and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. Oh, that's a lot. So,
And
Ham.
also, points wise,
Mm,
you was filling up the box scores there as well. I did some research. You finished
yeah,
with 2,214 points.
yeah, and I ended my season early, which is so unfortunate. Ended my season early, the middle of my senior year.
Wow.
Yeah, that would so backtrack
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
because I think it was my junior, no. My sophomore year, no. So I had 3 knee surgeries total.
Okay.
The It was my junior year. I played. I tore my meniscus earlier this season. Um,
In
and
college,
yeah, in college,
was it the same knee, same leg, or a different one?
same leg.
Wow.
I tore my meniscus. It was a small tear, but more when you tear your meniscus in small, they're just nag. Like it swells up. You kind of feel it when you cut here and there. But you could play on it.
Okay.
So upgraded my knee brace once again and got this, more sturdy knee brace because at the time I was just wearing knee sleeves. So I got a proper knee brace and I went to the doctor and he's like, hey, it's torn. He was like, but if you want to play, you could play
Mm-hmm.
um, and just get the surgery at the end. So that's what I did. I just, played it out. It ended up getting surgery. And with a torn meniscus, you can, the recovery time is less. With your
Yeah.
ACL, you might be out 10 to 12 months. With your meniscus, it's like 2 months, 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up getting the surgery. Just they actually cleaned my knee out as well and repaired it. So I was able to play, next season on healthy knees, sort of say. Um, but going back to my freshman year, we were number one in the NCAA Division I schools for defense. It was Hampton University, then UConn. Um,
Wow. That's
that was big.
major. That's major.
Yeah, and not a lot of people know that. But Hampton is definitely like my coach. We spend a whole bunch of time on defense.
And then how ironic is that? Because you talked about coming up defense that wasn't one of your strong points, and you all wind up being one of the top defensive teams in the country. That's crazy.
And I will say my freshman year in college, once my coach taught me, because going into college also lacked in footwork. That I don't know if that's not something I was just taught or people just let me shoot like that because it would just go in. Uh,
Yeah. If it
so
ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing.
yeah, so I actually had to work on that, like stepping into your shot. Didn't know too much about that. So that was one of the things that he kind of changed to my game and kind of made my shot a lot better. So
Okay.
that was one of the things. And he, of course, was a defensive coach. So he's like, if you don't play defense, I mean, you're not going to play type of thing. I don't care. So so that was just hard. Definitely we freshman year was very different and shocking and very homesick because you have fitness tests, you have to make the mile time, you have bench that you have to make, you have squat, you have to make a 3 mile time. And
Wow.
if you don't make all this stuff by the end of preseason, because you're there the whole summer. So we had pre-college and we were there the whole summer. And if you don't make this stuff, you don't travel or you don't get any gear. So not knowing that, and my coach has said I'm always, I'm going to
No,
try.
no. That's it's a mind thing.
Yeah,
Just
it's a
just
mind.
want you to work. Hey, real quick. Sorry to cut you off. We're closing on our first hour. I see the little time, little countdown on my screen. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna end this one, save it. Give me like 30 seconds and come right back. Send me another request. We're going to pick right up from here. Just
Okay.
want to let all the viewers know we got a nice audience. You're tuned in. You're listening to the story of Malia Rawls, aka Malia Tate-DeFreitas. She's telling her story. Still high legend, Hampton legend, and beyond. A legend in life. An amazing young lady. I'm gonna end this one. We're gonna come right back with part two. So everybody come back, and also at the very end, we're gonna have a nice little Q&A. We'll be wrapping up pretty soon. I'll let you guys go back and forth and start asking Malia some questions. All right. So Malia, we'll be right back. All right.
All right.
All right. Hey, what's the It's your boy Big Star. We back Legends Week with special edition, super special edition. My girl Malia Ralls, aka Malia Tate-DeFreitas, the first lady of Legends Week. Still high legend. She ended her high school career with 3,366 points in her high school career. I believe in Pennsylvania. She's if you Google it, I believe it's the website pahoops.com. They have a lot of history on there. She's the second leading scorer in Pennsylvania's history of all time. And college at Hampton, she ended her career there with 2,214 points, and her season ended early. So she could add more points than that. So here we go. Hey, so pick right back up where you left off. You were just talking about all the fitness tests
Okay.
and all that kind of stuff, that you had to do in that preseason in order to get your jersey in play. So pick up there.
Yeah, so definitely going into my freshman year, we had all these fitness tests that they try to prepare you for during the summer. So once you come back for the fall, you can make your fitness test and then you can go on to sort of say earn your jersey. So you have a 3 mile test. I can't remember the time for the 3 mile. Um, but you have the mile, and the guards are 6 minutes and 30 seconds, and post players are 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Um, so you have that test, and you have, depending on how much you weigh and stuff, you have trainers in college, so you have bench
Mm-hmm.
press, squat, and all those type of tests. And you have like so we have something called we did have something called a CQ in college. It's like a suicide on steroids. It's probably
Wow.
like sides on one in
Wow.
one. So you have that type of test, your vertical sprint type of stuff. So yeah, it's definitely a lot. And I was like, Mom, can you come get me? I'm ready to y'all didn't tell me this is what I signed up for. So yeah. And then in college, our coach, when we're on the road, they take our phones, so we don't have interaction with our family, and so we could just focus and bond. And
Gotcha.
they take our electronics to the night before, so that was different as well.
Yeah.
Um, but it was nice,
Mm-hmm.
travel, getting a bond with girls that come from different backgrounds and everything. So,
Gotcha. So some of your most memorable playing experiences during your Hampton career.
I would say definitely my freshman year. So we had two really good players, Alyssa Thomas. I'm sorry, not Alyssa Thomas, Alyssa Bennett and
Mm-hmm.
Nikki. And they were like the it girls, me coming into Hampton. So they made it like 10 times easier for me to score
Gotcha.
because they were on the scout. I was kind of a surprise.
Okay.
Um, so that's really how I got all my points, because people
Mhm.
didn't expect me, to score all these points, and then it being that I was didn't expect me to start.
They had
So
no idea what they was getting into.
so that was the coolest breeze of a season. So definitely my freshman year we played Utah, and I think I made like 8 threes. That was the most threes I've ever made in a game.
Wow.
Yeah, the
Wow.
threes I've ever.
You keep talking. I'm gonna write that in the comments so I can pin that.
Oh,
8 threes against Utah. Wow.
yeah. And we were in California. It was a Thanksgiving tournament. Um, Me and my dad were actually just talking about this game last night. But yeah, so that was that. And playing LSU.
Hmm.
I remember me having a good game. But I just, like you growing up, you see LSU on TV. I forget they had a really good player back in the day, but just being there. So that was nice. So I think those were probably my most two, high scoring. Probably a lot of, I was really in my 20s throughout my freshman year, but definitely those were like 30 games, and always playing like the Howards. When we played Howard, don't know what year it was, but I had 39. And
Wow.
is crazy. Literally, like the fans are over the railing, like yelling. Like my coach.
And that was at a home game.
No, that was at Howard.
Oh, at Howard. Got you.
Cause my coach, he wears earplugs that game. Cause that's how loud it is, and it is burning hot. And
You dropped 39, almost 40 on Howard.
yeah. And I didn't know I had.
Oh, coach said, "Girl, you had like 50 at Howard."
Yeah. That's actually, so she Hegnia, that's my old teammate, but she's now assistant coach at Hampton.
Cool. That's
But
what's
she
up. That's what's
up. When I was in high school, I mean in college, so she's our point guard.
That's what's up. Shout out to your teammate. But yeah, she said you had like 50 at Howard. Wow, that's
No,
crazy.
it felt like it, not as it was, but yeah. Howard was always a fun game. That was our rivalry team. Howard, Norfolk State, of course. So those were always fun games to play in. It was actually a lot harder playing the MEAC schools than major colleges.
Okay.
Because the MEAC, I guess you get a rep, so they might put like 2 people on you.
Of course.
Being in, when you played at South Carolinas and the LSUs and different schools like that, it's kind of like, we're still going to win. She might score these points, but
yeah.
We're outnumbered. Just put it that way.
Yeah. Who's a player that you went up against where the scout report was like, legit, and then when the game started, you say, yeah, she's the real deal. She's tough.
Kayla Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And I played her twice. I played her at Georgia Tech. And Georgia Tech. So Alyssa, she had the best in the world, I think. She held her to probably like 2 points.
Got you.
She's like number 2 draft pick. And then the next half she went off. I don't know where she got the energy from, but she just went off. But her, of course, I played her at Georgia Tech and played her at South Carolina against Dawn Sterling. And the first time I played South Carolina, I actually did really good. I think I was a secret. And then the next time we played them, Dawn Sterling was like, nah. Literally, like, and they're already big, so they're like trapping me. It was, yeah, I was tired of that game. I'm not gonna lie.
Did your game change at all from high school to college, or you was doing the same stuff? You said they changed your shot a little bit. You were already an amazing knockdown shooter. You know what I mean? But how did your game change? And then how did you get that 2,214 points? Listen. We gotta put this in perspective, man. I think you're such a good player that it's like, yeah, just like layups. Like, yeah, I scored 3,000. It was like nothing. It was no big deal. Like, listen, we're talking about, okay, again, 1,000 points is a major milestone at any level, okay? But we're talking about 1,000 points in college, you know what I'm saying, against top level competition. You know what I mean? Really good defenders. You score, you double that. You scored 2,000 and some. And you could have had more than that, but your season ended early.
Yeah.
So how are you getting all these points? Like, I can't understand it, man.
I really, I don't try to think about any of my stats. That's one thing. I'm not going to the coach, oh, how many points I got now? I just broke it down. I just tried to do at least 3 to 4 layups. That's not even counting your 3-pointers. So 3 to 4 layups a quarter. You get 4 layups, what's that? 32 points right there. So then if you add the threes and stuff, that's how, the numbers go up. But that's
it's pretty much simple mathematics. Bang, in your mind. Okay, just like your average. Let me get 3 or 4 layups, bang. And then at the end, y'all total it up. I just know I made my quota.
Yeah, so I don't know how I got all these points, but literally what I just tried to do. But of course in college, I think where it changed, definitely the pace of the game. Once I got the hang of the pace, because it is so much like looking at it, look that much faster. Playing, it is so much faster in high school. So that learning how to create space, because in high school I didn't have to do that because it was a lot easier. So learning how to create space, and just, you know, sticking to what I'm good at and listening to my coach and being coachable. He did put me in great situations and to be able to score. He knew what he was doing and what plays. Even though they involved a lot of running, but he knew me open when he wanted me to score and just we had a, you know, type he had a type of on offense, you know, kind of like everybody move out the way and you just try to beat your player to the basket type of
No
thing.
doubt. No doubt.
Or if somebody steps up, you kick it out because we had some shooters. So yep, that was
Yeah.
that.
So talk about just the overall playing at an HBCU experience. I mean, you know, just talk about what it was like to play at an HBCU for you. And because you know it's in the big trend now is, you know, with you know, male and female players, you know what I mean, like, yo, what if, you know, and I've been said this, what if all of our top black players, you know, top 10
Yeah.
ESPN top 10 players start going to HBCUs? Like, first, you know, talk about your experience and then talk about what you think about something like that.
Well, I love it, first of all, because that was like not the mentality I had, but sort of say, I was my coach. We were always so close. Like the one year we lost to South Carolina by 10 points. They're a top 25 team in the country. So
Mm-hmm.
we were always like this close.
Mm-hmm.
I did beat those schools. Like we beat Pitt one year, we beat LSU one year, we beat Temple while I was there, Virginia Tech. We beat a lot of major schools. So that was my thing. I did want to make history. And that was one of my goals. When I told my coach coming there that's one of my goals. I would love to be the first HBC, well, women's team to you know, make it past the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
Was that my freshman year? Yes, my freshman year, we got a really, we weren't last. I think we got a 12 seed to play us.
Okay.
Um, Michigan State, we played at North Carolina,
Mm-hmm.
Tar Heels.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we were really excited because we felt like, you know, they're giving us the HBCU a chance,
Mm-hmm.
but they were a lot better than what we thought. But
No doubt. No doubt.
well, see, I don't know if that, you know, that's very rare for HBCU, especially a MEAC team to get, you know, a 12 seed. So to play against a 12 seed.
Yeah.
So, you know, that was my mentality going to a HBCU. I love the culture. I think it's nothing like it. You have, as I say, black excellence around you. Hampton is a black Ivy League. So not only are they good at sports, the education is there.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with the HBCU, you are going to deal with a lot of things, but I mean, it gets done.
No
Um,
doubt.
and then being an athlete, you do have, especially the players that are going to HBCU now, they won't even probably have to deal with, you know, things that I dealt with. But I mean, it's nothing in the world, you know, like going to HBCU, then becoming Greek. And you, and I feel like at HBCU, I don't know. Well, you can have somewhat of a social life, so you get to experience that. And you know, you do have the small classes, and I actually got to know my professors. I became friends with my professors. Um, because you're away so much, you do have to, you know, have that communication with them. And they know you're athletes, so you know they're willing to work with you. So yeah.
No doubt. Hey, just want to take a quick second.
Yeah.
Got to pay homage to another legend who was featured on Legends Week. If you see that street banger that I pinned right
Uh-huh.
there, that's my man Marvin O'Connor. Marv O'Connor, Simon Gratz legend, Temple legend.
All right.
You know, big Hall of Fame conference. You know, Hall of Fame. That's Marv O'Connor right there. Legend. Definitely look him up. That's my guy right there. Um, real quick. Just two more things I want to ask you about your college experience, real quick. Um, at what point, remember you going back, you said in your freshman year, you said it was the two players, they were the it girls, they were those girls. um at what point did you realize you were one of the it girls and walking on campus, hey Malia, you know what I mean, kind of thing? Like, when did you realize, yeah, my swag, I'm her?
Well, definitely going into college, not saying that I was a it girl, but it was a lot of hype. So
Okay.
that made me, I'm a very shy person. So that was like, I don't like attention really.
Okay, got you.
I'm not that type. I like being behind the camera. So, well, that's different. But I was that, the hype girl. So, that was kind of, I don't know. I just had to live up to that. So going into my sophomore year, I kind of knew that I was the it girl, because when you have, the school double teaming you, or, just things like that, or we play South Carolina, who would have thought little old me, Don Sterling's like, oh, we're going to double team her. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
he even said it in their interview, because I mean, you go to their facility, they have a whole press conference before the game. It's amazing. But so yeah, then so yeah,
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Mom Dukes in the building.
right.
She said, I guess what she's saying is she knew that you was the girl when they put the life size, the big life size Malia in the gym.
Yeah.
What you had, like a big old statue or a little cardboard a version of yourself in the gym?
Yeah, it's like a so our like marketing team, they have like these big giant fat heads of like the it players. So
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, so go into one of the last things I want you to mention about so your career ends early. Tell me about your career ending early, and then like psychologically, kind of where just take me through that experience again.
so my senior year, Dell State played at Dell State. Don't even know why I was in the game, but that's yeah. We were up by probably about 20, and my coach, like, he is like, oh, we're like, if we're up 20, we need to be up 50 type.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, it was just an easy pluck the girl, fast break. And I don't know if I went to do a euro, but I just planted my foot. As soon as I planted my foot, I just felt it. And this time I didn't try to go back in the game. I was like, oh no. I
Was
felt
it was it the same one again?
No, it was the opposite one.
Wow.
Yep. So I planted, and I just remember them coming to pick me up. And I'm like looking at my dad. I'm like, "Are you okay?" Like, I'm okay, but are you okay? But yeah. So that was like, I mean, it was tough. I've been doing this since I was 9, so it was kind of like, what do I do now, type of thing.
Hmm.
Do I want to still try to play professionally? Do I want to get my master? Like, what's the next thing?
Like
So
what went through your mind in that second, in that moment? Like what those like some of the thoughts that was going through your mind in that moment?
yeah, so through that, I'm just like, it's over, and
Hmm.
like all my hard work, it's done. That's how I, honestly felt. I know people say, your legacy or whatever, but when you're actually, in it, and then, it's just over at like of a second, it's kind of tough. Kind of just take that one to the chin. But I'm the type of person, okay, what's plan B?
Gotcha.
Can't sit around and just, oh, I would have been in the WNBA, or
Yeah.
obviously it wasn't meant to be.
Gotcha.
So I was just like, what am I going to do next? So I went on. My coach was nice enough to pay for my master's.
Okay.
So I got hurt. Who I ever would have had a master's degree. So that's kind of how I look at it. I always try to find, positivity in negative situations. So I mean, I did think about, trying to come back to play. I mean, I've had 3 knee surgeries. I
Hmm.
was kind of, over it. So, yeah, but
Yeah. So what did you I mean, like leading up to that, was it your goal to try to, obviously play professionally, or like were you getting like, um was the word on the street like, yeah,
yeah.
you could be drafted? Like what was the word on the street prior to that happening?
Oh, back.
There you go.
So definitely had WNBA stuff at my game. Definitely had, it was. Now I don't know if I, in my mind, decided that I wanted to go to the WNBA or to play professionally, but I feel like everybody else had that idea for me.
Gotcha.
I don't honestly know if I wanted to go or if I didn't want to go. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it was just assumed that I was going because I was good.
Got you. Got
So I never really sat down and Leah, are you gonna, go to the WNBA or go to the play professionally overseas? I never even I thought about it, yes, talked about, yes, scouts were at my game, but I never really saying like this is what I want to do. I don't think I've ever told dad, this I'm gonna play basketball professionally. Yes, it was a goal. But I don't know. But they were definitely like we played Oregon at Oregon.
mm-hmm.
And they had scouts there for the other girl, and they kind of saw me, so it was scouts there. So, but I
Yeah.
like an agent going into my senior year or anything like that.
Got you.
Um,
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said it definitely would have happened if I did.
Yeah. Got you. So you closed that chapter of your life, and at what point do you like? Was it then when you realized, you know what, I'm done. I'm just going to pursue my master's, and I'm not going to try to come back. Like, did you were you in that moment? Were you resolved with that, or were you still kind of wrestling with it?
Yeah, I feel like I still wrestle with it because even when I was getting my master's, it was still like, well, I could, try to come back and, um, play professionally. I don't know when I kind of just not to. It would just kind of like fade it out, like in my head. I
Yeah.
guess it was just a lot going on. So
Yeah.
after I got my master's, it was kind of just like I'm not that I'm satisfied, but I'm satisfied with the basketball career that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was kind of it. It kind of just faded away.
Got you, got you. So help us go into the next chapter of the story. Life after basketball. Where did your journey take you, and kind of where are you at now?
So life after basketball, I got my master's. My coach was kind enough to pay for my master's.
Mm-hmm.
Got my master's in sports management. Then got married. So got married to my high school sweetheart who also went to Hampton. Um,
Awesome.
yep. Then we moved to Atlanta, Georgia, where we're not. We still live there, but we work from home now because of all this mess that's going on. So we just came home to spend time with family. So that was a blessing. But I was, working at Georgia Tech in their marketing department.
Oh wow. Oh wow,
Yeah,
that's dope.
yeah, that's one of the things that I actually enjoy doing. So I would leave my full-time job and go work with them, all the games and sporting events. And I was supposed to work the NCAA tournament until all this happened.
Wow.
Yeah, so but I do work for a Lincoln Financial Group. They actually own the Eagle Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So I work for them now. But I'm still trying to figure out, life and what exactly it is that I, finally, want to do. I definitely want to have an all girls camp eventually, free for the city. So it's just different things, that I'm trying to do.
Mm-hmm. Got you. Got you.
I
Um.
but
Yeah. Well, when you think back over your entire journey, it's a lot of, so now it's time for reflection. I just want to kind of see, kind of how you've processed this whole thing. When you
Mhm.
think about your entire journey, what are some things that your experience, your basketball experience has taught you about life, about yourself, about just the ups, the downs, the
Yeah.
adversities, the surgeries? What have you learned from all that stuff?
Yes. So basketball is so crazy because my coach would always be um these are lessons that's going to last a lifetime type of thing. Live in the moment. You're going to miss that. I never thought I would miss basketball, playing college because I was so drained. Oh, it's so tiring. Traveling, school, it's just everything. But he was right about, missing it. And once you put on that jersey for the last time, like that's it if you're not playing professionally. So, a lot of lessons were taught. Being we had to wake up at what 4:30, practice at 5 a.m. Then you have to
4:30.
yeah
Wow.
4:30. We wanted to run. You're in Virginia, it's hot, so we want to where the sun comes up, and on like the football field lights, for training. So the early bird gets the worm. I guess that's sort of saying that kind of taught me that. So waking up, being productive, being busy, being coachable at a job. Because if you don't listen to your boss, you're not gonna have a job.
Of course.
And I'm trying to think what else. It's a lot. Basketball, overcoming adversity, challenges that you face during basketball, you will face in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So, how to cope, adjust, and a lot of things I wouldn't say don't bother me because I was like, oh, I was an athlete. I done, dealt with, people yelling at your face, but all that stuff you do, take on to your adulthood, and
Mm-hmm.
there are lessons and that
Mm-hmm.
you learn during your basketball career.
One of the and I just have one more question for you, and then hey people, I appreciate all you guys that are tuned in. You're listening to the amazing story of my girl Malia Rawls, aka Malia Tate-DeFreitas. I just have one more question for the Queen, and then I'm gonna let you guys start typing your questions. So if you guys want to start typing your questions now, and I'll pin them. And as I pin them, she'll read them, and then she'll answer. Whatever you guys have. So start thinking of your questions and typing them down in the comment section. Um, one of the it hasn't been a theme during my Legends Week series, but a few of the players when it comes to like how their basketball chapter of their life ended, like my man Donnie Carr, who was a legend at Roman Catholic when Kobe Bryant was in high school, what I mean, he was during that era, in the Philly area, his career ended. I mean, he was going to be a pro. He was a pro, but his
Yeah.
career was ended from a knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
So, and different players have, gone all their life, like you, all ball is life
Yeah.
for all their life. And
Yeah.
then it's just cut short from
Mm-hmm.
an injury or something like that. So it's just been interesting hearing how each player's gotten through that. Cause that's like a big mental thing. Like my man Donnie Carr said, he went into like a depression for a
Yeah.
couple of years, and it was really kind of tough to come out of that. So how did you get through that experience? What was it difficult for you? And if so, I mean, because the reason why I want you to talk about this is because athletes go through this all the time. And if it's a young athlete watching this, I need you to inspire them. Just share your experience of what you went through, be transparent, and how you got through it.
So definitely it's kind of like what do I do now? And what else am I good at?
Mm-hmm.
You're known for being this amazing basketball star, and nobody really knows what you're good at other than basketball. So it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like trying to find what you're good at. What career do you want to pursue? Yeah, you're going to college for this, but is that really something you want to do, or you
Yeah.
were because you were playing basketball?
Yeah.
Um, so it's definitely tough, but I feel like I look at other people's situations that's been through tougher things, and
Mm-hmm.
I would say for myself, it could have been much worse.
Gotcha.
It could have, yes, my career ended because of knee injury. It wasn't ended because I lost my leg,
Got. Gotcha.
to be to that
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it could have all been. It definitely could have been
Yeah,
worse. Yeah.
yeah. So I just try to think of, or I didn't lose my life. You know what I mean? So it's much like deeper things that you go through and that you think about, but it just takes some time trying to find yourself, of finding your niche, finding what you're good at, and for the people that don't know you, this is a time to show them the other things that you are good at, and what kind of career you want to pursue, just trying to find yourself. That situation definitely will bring that out in you. So just trying to find what else, always staying positive, staying focused, goal driven. Yes, I don't play basketball, but I do have, goals in my life that I want to pursue. and that basketball kind of helped me with that, with my determination, you know, dedication, things like that. So
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much for you know,
uh,
just kind of taking the time to talk about that, because that's a really big issue for athletes who are so driven on basketball and so focused that they can't see anything else. And then once that's taken away, it's like, yo, what do I do now? And if you don't have a plan B, like you said, if you're not motivated, if you don't have a spiritual life, you don't have a support system, it could be
yeah,
really difficult. It could be really tough. And just imagine if, just like you said, some athletes, some big time athletes are like, look, man, I'm just going to the NBA. So my major, I'm just majoring in, you know, parks and rec management. You know what I mean? Just like something that you're not really going to, you know. Now
yeah,
you're like, man, I got my major of study is wasted, so I'm really stuck now. So thank you so much for breaking that down. Um,
yeah.
yeah, kids definitely need to hear that. So last thing, um, talk to the younger players real quick. It's maybe some younger players, some younger, you know, females watching this right now. Give them some keys to success, some advice. Just talk to them right now real quick, and then that'll be that.
So just some keys to success would say, always, you know, believe in your dreams and stay confident in your game. You will have, you know, naysayers, trash talkers, but really only you know what you're capable of doing. Just always, I'm always positive. I try to stay as humble, and I will say I really do believe me being humble why all these points and gifts were granted to me. Just stay humble, be coachable, be willing to learn, always listen to your, I would just say parents, teacher, and coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Just, you know, always listen, and just be willing to learn. And take advantage and seize the moment when you do have the opportunity to have that game, you know, seize that moment. um so yeah, that's pretty much it. And just, you know, never give up. You may be faced with injuries or anything in life, mental illness, or, you know, family members. You may be going through stuff, but, you know, never give up and help that motivate you. um
Got you. Hey, well, I appreciate it
oh,
so much. I'm gonna save my official thank yous
okay.
after this, but
Oh,
I'm gonna give, you know, allow the people to ask you some questions. So hey, listen, people, this is your time. You have Malia Rawls here, Malia Tate-DeFreitas. Ask her any questions that you guys want. Start typing some questions. Anything y'all want to know. Anything y'all want to know. I just see we got a lot of family in the building, but
yeah.
even we got Glammed. We got Jill, we got little Kobe, we got Grandma. Oh, we got Grandma Dolly in the building.
Yeah, she just made an Instagram.
No, oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. So listen, although we got family in here, you guys may know everything about Malia already. If it's anything that you don't know or wanted to talk about anything, type some questions at the bottom of the screen. Any new viewers, anybody, you know, doesn't know Malia, throw some questions at her. She'll, you know, we got her here. Ask some questions. Until we start getting some questions from the people.
Yeah.
I have one thing. Do you still play pickup games at all? You still work out?
So I definitely work out. Um, I try to work out in the morning, but that's not always the case. Donald's always up before me.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. I'd be like, you go ahead. But I definitely still work out. Pickup, I was playing pickup when we moved to Atlanta. I was playing with the guys, but they like to argue, and I'm there for the cardio and to shoot really. So, and anytime anybody fouled me, Donald gets so mad. So I was just like, I'm gonna just not play with you guys.
You said your husband gets mad when
Yeah,
they
and I'm
feel a little too rough.
not even that serious.
he ready to
But
rumble.
so yeah, so I mean we go, we'll play each other, or we'll just like shoot stuff
No
like
doubt.
that. I was playing summer league here before I moved.
Yeah. Some of the bigger cities, they have like like some female like rec
Yeah,
league. You know what I mean?
but like it'd be like WNBA players and like elite
Got
players. Like, do I really? Because I'm very competitive, so I'm like, I really might hurt myself because I don't know.
try to do too much. Try to do too much. try to make them remember your name,
Right.
huh? Next question, my man Teray Morton. If you can go back, what would you tell your 10 or 12-year-old self? If you can go back in time, what would you say to your 10 and 12-year-old self?
I would tell myself to be more confident. Not saying that I wasn't confident, but educated, more humble, but I would just really be, more well believing in myself more, in my capability to score. I feel like I did, I knew that I was a scorer, but it came later down the line. Or like, why do I always have to have the ball or stuff like that, and really not taking stuff like that for granted. And I think, yep, no, that's it. That's it.
Gotcha. Oh, Mom Dukes wants to know, so who do you get your basketball skills from?
Not
Question mark.
her, so, but period, right?
uh, um, okay. You mentioned this in the first hour, but you can just, just go over it. Bar Loading Zero wants to know, who are your top 5 schools coming out of high school?
That were recruiting me?
Yeah.
Oh, because I did have like unofficial offers.
Yeah.
But cause that Syracuse was one of them. I think St. John's, but coming out of high school, it was just Pitt, Northeastern, University of Albany, and Hampton. I'm pretty sure I had more offers, but those were what I can remember. I narrowed.
Got you. K Les wants to know, how does it feel scoring 50 points? Like, I know it had to be an amazing feeling.
Definitely against Harrisburg, that was an amazing feeling. Because just the hype. Like, you already know everybody in the city comes out to see that game, and to live up to people how they talk about you. It was an amazing feeling. I felt like I won, even though I didn't, but I felt like.
Kobe Ballin, your family wants to know, what's your favorite basketball drill?
What drill? I just love to shoot, so I don't know if that is considered a drill, but of course we would do some shooting drills. I don't sort of know the name of it, but just any type of shooting drill.
Got you. Kay Celine wants to know, if I'm saying the name right, Kay Celine wants to know.
Yep.
Got you. Who was that?
My old teammate.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. What was your best and worst college experience as a collegiate athlete?
So best college experience is definitely I would say, winning championships. Like, it's no greater feeling than that in college, because you like really get the superstar treatment when you win those championships. Like, ate at the president's house.
I know the alumni be showing bad love.
The vice president of BET, she went to Hampton. So when we played in Thanksgiving tournament, she invited us to her mansion, and we ate at her mansion.
Wow. That alumni boy, they deep. That's a long list of names. They show love.
Yeah, they really do. And the alumni are amazing. And just, winning championship, getting your ring it's really a great feeling. And something to look forward to and to motivate you. Worse, I would probably worse. I don't probably losing to a team we're not supposed to lose to.
Gotcha.
That's pretty, that can be bad, because our coach, that's just bad.
No doubt. Ashley Curridad wants to know, what would you consider to be your proudest moment in your career? I guess overall career, like high school, college, everything.
I would say proudest moment, definitely high school, is being featured in Sports Illustrated, because that was like, wow. Not that many people are featured in Sports Illustrated, so that was amazing. And then like the school, they in college, they did like a long video for me senior night, because I wasn't able to play in my senior night. It would kind of like had me choked up, so that was really nice.
Got you. Visionary Prophet wants to know, how important was your father in your basketball journey?
He is the reason why I'm playing basketball. So very influential. He never missed. We could be in Hawaii, he was there. I needed that, because I needed to see him in the crowd to know like that I'm all right. I got this type of thing. So never missed the practice, never missed the game, whether it was home or away. So yeah, very influential.
No, now, well, I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going to, kind of say my closeouts. Oh, one more thing regarding your dad. I just
Yeah.
want to give him some props real quick. Unrelated to basketball. Your pop at one point, I'm not sure if he still does. You just see, I'm a beard man. Your
Yeah.
pop had the sickest beard on the planet.
So he
But then he had me so upset because then I seen him again and he
and
cut it off. I'm like, what is
yeah,
going on? I mean, the bumps, his beard was it's crazy.
yeah, he gets it during the winter, and then during the summer he cuts it off. Or I don't even know what he be going through.
Yo, that John
He just grows,
needs
and
to be in a magazine.
it grows like down to here. My mom hates it
Like
though.
it grows like female hair, like
Yeah,
long, like yo, that John. And then it was when it was white, like salt and pepper kind of
yeah.
sick, man. Definitely beard envy. I do my thing, but yeah, he's the GOAT for real.
Yeah.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Malia.
Oh,
Thank you so much for your time. I know how valuable time is. Thank you so much for your time this evening, joining us for Legends Week. Again, I just want to just pay homage to your career. My heart goes out to you in one token because I know how much basketball meant and means to you to have it, have ended. But God's will is perfect.
yeah.
So I'm so proud in the same token of how you picked yourself up and kept moving, got your master's degree. You're a super success in life. You're a career woman. You're a Greek career woman doing all these great things. You have an amazing husband, living an amazing life. So thank you so much for being who you are, and thank you so much for your contribution.
No
It's
problem.
Legends Week. Yeah.
Thank
Any last words? Any shout outs? Anything you want to say?
No, but I just want to, thank you for having me. This was totally unexpected. I didn't know you were having the whole Legends Week. So I was thinking earlier, I wonder what we're going to talk about because interviews make me nervous as well. But the little question game got me flowing. So I just thank you for, having me and actually considering me a legend. So I appreciate that.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, God bless you. God bless your family. And in the event that you and your husband have a little 7-game series or a little shooting series,
I'll make
shoot
sure.
me a message. Let me
Yeah.
know how it goes, or put the phone down, give me some footage
Yeah.
or something like that. All right.
All right.
And tell Mr. Rawls I said what's up too.
Okay, I will.
All right. God bless you. Thank you. And one more thing. I'm sorry for all your family and friends who may have missed this interview. I'm going to upload it to my YouTube channel, and I'll send you the link so you can share it with everybody. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Take care.
Bye.
All right.